Welcome back, guys, to the Beyond Condition podcast, the voice of bodybuilding. And today's voice is a very good friend of mine from many years ago, and we've sort of kept in touch over the years. Welcome, Mr. OPH.
Wow, what an introduction that was. I was waiting for the drum roll and the curtain call and the jazz hands. How the devil are you, Sarah? Thank you so much for having us on.
No, it is my pleasure, and like the stories we just did, this is why I do what I do because you connect with people in this space, and certainly for me, and I think you probably would align with this in a certain degree. There's certainly areas in the bodybuilding and the fitness space, particularly the mental health side of things, and for males as well, where it's like there's not that. It's sort of like I'm a bodybuilder, I've got a body transformation, and obviously we're going to talk about your transformation, and there's sort of a lack of that connectivity in the space. Of course, Instagram, etc. We're led to believe people are who they aren't when we meet them in person, and it's quite a hard industry, isn't it?
Hugely. I mean, like one of the maddest things that if anyone's listening, they'll sit and nod their head right now. Like when you look at Instagram, it's always the positive highlights. It's always the I'm smashing me goals, I'm getting this done, like no days off, bro. Like let's keep going, let's move forward. Like when in reality, there's somebody behind that camera lens who's like obligated to post this because he's maybe influenced by some of the upper echelons of the fitness community or the bodybuilding world. Well, Sam Sulek goes and does that, so I've got to go and do that for the younger generation of people. He went and won his pro card on his first outing and this, that, the other. So why can't I do that? The reality of it is like a lot different because there's a lot of different fundamentals in our lives that compartmentalize towards this positivity state, if you will.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a lot that rides on that positivity, and there's a lot that rides on how you're channeling your mindset, Sarah. Like I'm sure you'll agree. Like there's a lot of different factors where you'd wake up in the morning, right? Yes, I'm on this one track mind, one vision. Let's go and get it. The reality is I don't know. You could have a puncture on the way to work. Somebody could, you could get a shitty text from your partner, your pal, whatever. You could get some really bad news, and then all of a sudden, that's
Yeah, yeah, it is. And this is the thing. It's like it's not reality in social media, but you fill your head with it. So it's your reality. So we often find ourselves in these narratives that have been created by what we consume, and we don't realize that actually, a lot of the time, our why, our reason to do this in the first place, and this is something I talk about, gets lost because you're, as you say, you're chasing this claim to fame, how other people perceive it and how you're perceiving it is going to be very, very different. And then you're caught in this sort of trap because unless you have the self-awareness there, it's you that sits in your own head. And this is what I talk about. You are the loudest voice in any room in here. But with
yeah.
that, the negative self-talk, the detrimental self-talk contributes to what you're saying there. You can get up feeling good. You could look at one thing on Instagram, suddenly you feel like a piece of shit.
But it goes a lot broader than that, Sarah, even outside of bodybuilding. Like you look at some of these big characters in fitness, bodybuilding, all like that. They've got the flash car, the beautiful girlfriend, the big house or boyfriend. It's 2025. Um, they've got the big house. They're sponsored by a supplement company. They've got their own clothing brand. They've got their own other businesses, coaching channels, this, that, the other, you know. And then little old average joke, whatever, is sat there thinking in the spare bedroom in his mother's house. Well, I'm in my 20s and I go to the gym and I train, but I don't buy those supplements because I can't afford those supplements and I can't get the Alpha Designs clothing. I can't, you know, there's constraints, or you're the single parent, or you're a family man who provides for his kids or whatever, and you look at these other people who are nailing these little negotiables, which aren't really negotiables because they're their narrative, which is a completely separate life. But if you dig underneath that,
Yeah,
is that person truly happy?
for sure.
Is what's on camera what's in real life? And you know, are these people actually as successful as what they claim to be? The big one that I always get in the industry that I'm in, I work in sales,
Mhm.
and you constantly see these people who are out in Dubai on yachts and stuff like that. I'm living this lifestyle, a couple of taps on your phone a day, go and trade this, you can earn six figures. You can't. The higher cars, the higher the yachts, the higher girls in there. He probably doesn't even know half of the girls' names. The Armand de Brignac's probably dilutely juice that's in there. But there's us sat there taking it in our house, in our lives, thinking, holy shit, like, why aren't I doing this? Like, this is like, the pressure's real. He's got an amazing car. Like, why haven't I got an amazing car?
Yeah, yeah. And you
And
mentioned
it's,
age as well. It's like you get to a certain age and you think, should I be X, Y, Z? Because this person is, or even if this person's younger, oh shit, we're similar age, and it's like, oh, but they're doing that and they're 10 years younger than me. Like, should I be doing that? But I love what you said there about, are these people truly happy? Because this is back to where I say you actually meet people in real life from Instagram, and I've had, I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to meet these people. Holy shit, this is not a nice person in real life, but I'm led to believe they are on social media.
I genuinely, everybody I've ever met from Instagram, and I feel like it's based on the people who've came into my life through either when I've been backstage
Mm,
bodybuilding, when I've been on stage hosting bodybuilding, or people who have came along the way for my journey that I posted, which we're going to talk about. I genuinely believe that everybody I've came across within my time, certainly, has been great people. And that's wonderful because that's all I want to attract.
yeah, for sure.
All I want to attract. I've always stuck by the narrative of my Instagram will always be real.
Yeah.
I'll always tell you how I feel, good, bad, ugly, whatever.
Mm,
And I've posted it, and it's never for like, DM me, hun. Oh, I hope you're okay. Oh, he's attention seeking. He's this, that. It's none of that. What I want to show is his life's actually fucking real, and it happens to you. Because fuck me, it's happened to me.
yeah.
Like that's without getting the violin out.
Yes.
It happened, but the difference is what I've wanted to try and articulate throughout it all is I'll show you the dark, and I'll show you coming back into the light as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all I ever want is through my platform is if I can help one person in anything that I've posted realize that they're not alone in this, or the thoughts, aren't invalid, or things that they're going through isn't weird. Some of the topics I cover: binge eating, depression, anxiety, going through different challenges in life, like makeups, breakups, you name it. I've been through it all.
Mm,
People dying in my family, dad getting dementia, like documenting that side of things, not for the sense of why is he putting his dad on camera, he's got dementia. I'm putting my dad on camera because I don't know how long I've got left of dad, and I want to have those memories still there. And you know what? When I get my phone out to take a picture with him, he fucking loves it. Doesn't know who I am, but he fucking loves it.
mm, mm.
So like I just kind of want to break down those barriers of like it doesn't have to always be like the best cap cut trend or the best whatever. And I'm not viral. I'm not a internet sensation. I've got about 4,000 followers tops. But like out of those 4,000 followers, those people, I can probably hand on heart tell you things about them. I know them. They know me. And like, I've never wanted to be that. I've never wanted to be anything like that. I've never wanted to have any of that fame. I've never wanted to have any of that notoriety on the internet. I just do what I want to do, like on my platform. And there must be so much pressure on people who are doing this cool shit to be somebody, be a character, be a. I saw a thing about that train guy, that Francis Bourgeois, the guy who spots trains.
Mhm.
That's not even his real name. He made up a character for his name.
Okay.
And like, how much pressure is around that?
For sure.
Because people think that they know who you are when the reality is they don't. I
Mm,
mean, I think he's cool as fuck. Like, I go on like a virgin when I say anything with an engine. So seeing trains go, but oh look at that, oh that car's you know what I'm like. I'm such an excitable like character with stuff like that.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
when people think that they know you based on something that they see through a lens, I can honestly say that people probably do know quite a lot about me. They don't
Same.
know all of us because there's some stuff that maybe I don't put on there.
It is. It's certainly that's how I've always been. I don't have, I've probably got about the same amount of followers as you. I always say this, I actually go through and take away if there's like accounts flagged and stuff, I remove them as a follower,
Yeah,
and I don't have an issue with that now. However, as we're gonna, talk about your journey, the external pressure, way back when, that certainly was a thing for me. I'd be scared to block people or scared to, do certain things on social media, and I'd try and follow suit with other bikini girls or other bodybuilders and be part of the curve, as it were, and copy and almost emulate what they were doing. And it became almost like I was pulling away from who I actually am. And it was a really weird space. And it took me a bit of time to sort of understand that within myself. And there'll be people listening that are like, yeah, I said this on our webinar. If someone said to you, why do you do bodybuilding? Like, who are you? Can you answer that? And I feel like some people would probably have to sort of think, oh, I don't know. I've sort of fallen into this thing, and it's been led through social media. And when you had your body transformation, when you went through, the coaching process, and that sort of then instigated a lot of what we're going to talk about today.
yeah.
How did that feel initially? Were you like me? Were you just this excitable person to transform your body?
So obviously going back to the first transformation, the big one.
Hmm.
Um, Back in 2019, the woman who was closest to me, my nana, Betty. Most people who follow us will know
Hey.
Betty's last words before she died were, "Joseph, you're my big lovely boy, and I love you, but you're just a bit too big now." And I'm tipping the scales back then at about 28, 29 stone. Probably 30 stone was me peak. And she just said, "Will you lose some weight for me?" and grabbed me hand. And I promised her I would. Now, rewind back a couple of months, I'd been chasing Christian Chapman for a while to be his client because Christian was coaching. He was still selling cars at Mini. And Christian always used to say to us, "I've seen you starting these things with the greatest of intentions, bro, seen you starting these things, but you just, then I see you out for burgers, man. You don't really want it, man. So show me, then I'll probably work with you." So to be fair, I knew Christian through Instagram from about 2015, 2016, because he's mad into cars.
Yeah.
Christian Carbs and Cars was how I remember him. He had a Mark 6 GTI with probably the coolest race body kit you've ever seen on it going around the Nürburgring.
Mm.
And I thought, fuck me, this guy's cool. Like this guy's, yeah, a bit of me, that. So I took that promise and I took Christian's advice from way back and I was trying to implement it. But that promise I made to me nana was something where I was just like, right, I've got to do this. After me nana had asked us that, the day later she passed away. And I just had to do something. At that time in my life, Sarah, I'd bought my first house with somebody who I was in a relationship with. There was no love there. We were kind of pushed into a situation because we were coming into our 30s. Everybody else was settling down. Everybody else was getting a nice car, getting a house. And I'm sat there at 30 stone thinking, well, no one else is going to want me. So I've just got to settle for this. And that person's a great person. Like, but I didn't want to, I didn't want to be with us. I slept on the sofa for most of the time because I was that fucking fat
Mhm.
and cumbersome and sad. And I was closer to the kitchen, so I could binge most of the time. Like, most of my life in that window of buying that first house was finishing work, not eating anything all day at work, then going to the co-op, spending about 10 or 15 quid on 50 shades of beige in your carrier bag, donuts, biscuits, fucking sitting in the car on the seafront, gorging all of that away, putting it in a bin, because anybody who secret eats out there who's listening to us, you'll know that you'll hide the evidence. You could be a fucking secret agent if you're a secret binger, because you can get rid of evidence very quickly. And I'd ring you first if I needed to dispose of a body, because you get rid of it quick. And then I was going back home and having me tea or dinner wherever you're from. People say dinner for tea, dinner's lunch. I'm from the north. Um, and then I'd eat normally. on top of that. So I'd already had 6 or 7 thousand calories in a binge,
Mm.
and then I'd eat snacks. I'd eat tea. I'd be stood by the toaster like a military operation with 4 slices going in, 4 slices coming out, Nutella, jam, until all that was left of the bag of bread was the plastic that it came in.
Mm. Mm.
And I'd do that most nights, cereal, shit, whatever, that would go in there. So chasing back through that, Nana passed away. I left my partner. I moved out. I then waited until it was February. I'd signed up with Christian. March hit, lockdown. By that point, between when I moved out and by the time I'd signed up with Christian, I'd lost about 2 or 3 stone on my own through doing some stupid shit. I went vegetarian. I was doing some juice diets. By the way, there's nothing wrong with being a vegetarian. My girlfriend is currently a vegetarian and will always be a vegetarian. So there's nothing wrong with being a vegetarian. But I was thinking, I'm going to lose weight eating Linda McCartney sausages and going out for walks and really restricting myself at the same time, because I'm thinking, right, I'm going to do this, so I need to be on an aggressive deficit. And initially, what it encouraged was I knew what I'd get away with still,
Mm.
as in, what can I still eat and still lose weight? And thinking, I'm 30 stone, it's like a free ticket. So, fast forward, did all the wrong stuff, signed up with Christian, lost 3 stone by myself. I'd moved back home with my mum and dad. And then kind of got with Christian, then boom, big Boris gets himself on the telly and he says, I need you to stay home, control the virus, and save lives, staying alert because I pay buses. And then everything shut. I'd just getting it through my head that it was okay to be in the gym at 30 stone because I was fucking shitting myself.
Yeah.
Thinking everybody was looking at us. Look at the size of him. Look at how fat he is. Look at what he's doing. Look at his belly hanging out the bottom of his top. Like, every single negative thought that I could portray within to myself in that period of time while I was going to a gym, it was there. And before then, I've been doing quick fixes, lose 20 pounds, get your money back through a company called Elite, which was promoting stupid shit fad diets. And Elite, come and get us if you want. I couldn't give a fuck. It promotes negative eating habits. And then from there, mate, like, lockdown hit and life just obviously mourning the death of Betty and coming out of a long-term relationship where I hadn't been happy for a long time, like easy 2.5 of the 3 years we were together. But just settling and just accepting that that's what I was going to be, like, and that I wasn't enough, and then that I was just stuck, and it was horrifying. But fast forward to moving in back with my mum and dad, like, lockdown hit. I'd just got my gym confidence back, and then the gym was shut. And then to top things off, having ended all of that and bought my first house and stuff like that, my parents were actually quite disappointed in us.
Okay.
The fact that I'd left things and nothing's ever good enough for you. Like, what are you looking for? You won't. The perfect person doesn't exist. You've just got to settle for your lot and just continue on. And we fell out. We fell out. We had exchanges of words, and I moved out. I didn't have anywhere to go. I reached out to numerous people who aren't my friends anymore because I was stuck. I was in the shit. So I spent about 2 months sleeping in my car, still doing this journey, still checking in with Christian, still, taking check-in shots in my work car park with all my clothes in the car, like. And when I felt a bit flush, maybe staying in a hotel for a month. I spent about 2 to 3 months in a hotel, which was which was weird, which was strange, not having a kitchen, not having cooking utensils, and still having to get on with it. At the same time, Sarah, steps never missed a beat. I was rocking about 15 to 29,000 steps a day, anywhere between there and then, because I knew I'll never get another opportunity where I'm either furloughed from work again, and this is my chance to really make a fucking go of something. I promised Betty that I'd do something about it, and it was fucking freezing in that car on the night time. I had a towel to put over as a blanket, and I had me back a big backpack that I used as a pillow in the back of the A6, the Uber Exec, a car that's very close to my heart, which is coming to the end of its relationship, and I'm very sad. But in that time, there's those feelings of, scale weight chasing. There's those feelings of, look at the state I've got myself into. Because before all of that, like, I was pre-diabetic, sleep apnea. I got rushed to hospital because I thought I was having a fucking heart attack. Dad's had a heart attack. My dad's had cancer. So I was like, whoa, fucking hell, like, I'm a ticking time bomb here.
Yeah, for sure.
And in the midst of all of that stuff, like, obviously living with them for a little while in lockdown and then leaving, obviously I wouldn't say I was kicked out. I left on quite bad terms, didn't speak for a long, long time. And I was alone and I felt scared. And there was a lot of times, Sarah, where, especially when I got the hotel, and this is going to be such fucking hard hitting shit to hear, but I knew I'd got that hotel for a month, and I remember being about 5 days into it thinking, I could end it all here now, and no one's going to find us for at least 3 weeks. So it's too late. And I remember feeling an invigorous joy, thinking that no one knows where I am. No one's going to find us. So if I call it now, all of this pain will go away. The pain of Betty, the pain of having to live with myself and the state that I got myself into, in settling for what I had. Because before all of that, like, I was in good shape. I was actually training. I was assisted as well. I was taking things that people gave us at work and getting big biceps from it and losing the ability for my penis to work. It was kind of like trying to try your door handle with a lump of rope. It was like putting a flump into your keyhole. But I didn't know what I was doing. And then as soon as I stopped doing all of that and settled and got with someone that I didn't, I just let myself go because I got so unhappy. So in that hotel, like, I've got all of this shit cascading across. No one knows I'm here. My nana's just died. She was the closest person to my heart. She always will be. And I miss her so much, even, 6 years later? Because there's so much more that I want to show her and tell her and all like that stuff. But I kept going. And one of the things that I'll give myself credit for, and people will divide opinion this, and I don't care, like, I wasn't brave enough to follow through with that. Because I genuinely think the people who followed through with it are brave. People say it's selfish, it's whatever it is. When you're the main character in the TV series that is your life, and the only noise that you hear is what's going on in your head sometimes, that's deafening. And I'm honestly, hand on heart, I can say that within that period, that's deafening. However, I moved on. I ended up moving in with my uncle for a little while. I started buying stuff from Strom. I started posting check-in videos every week on Instagram. One of which caught Richard Foster's attention was when I did a naked cartwheel in the back garden when I'd lost, when I got to about 27, 28 pounds down. And I remember the comment saying, "I've just seen your penis," but I then confirmed that no, if it was the larger thing flapping, that was definitely testicle. And I got talking to those guys and Christian, like, even throughout all of that, the hotel stuff, all of it, Christian was a phenomenal anchor point within all of that for me. Christian, Ryan Kirkham, Rick from Strom, these people reached out on Instagram. There's loads of people who I could literally roll call off who checked in, who when I was posting me pictures and me videos, like the stupid ones, I did a fucking Little Mermaid one in the fucking bath one week because I'd got to 46 pounds down or whatever it was. And then when I hit 50 pounds down in lockdown, I drove to Christian's house and he didn't even know I was coming. So he got back from the gym and there I am sat in his fucking drive to celebrate 50 pounds down because I'd never really met him in person. Like I'd always online.
Yeah.
So what it did was though was in all of that, it opened up the power of what's good on the internet
Yeah.
because Instagram, as much as I fucking hate the place and I do, there are some wonderful people who I've met. You being one of them,
Thank you.
and obviously Matt as well.
Yeah.
But there are some wonderful people who I'm genuinely grateful to have met through that platform, who've supported my journey, who've supported every post, checked in with us when shit's been going south or whatever. And if you're listening and you are a follower of mine, like thank you so much because it means more than you'll ever know.
I love that.
But moving forward into 2020, got invited down to Strom personally because I went to see Christian, but then Rick got the hump because I didn't go and see Rick because it's the same kind of area of the country, Shropshire. Shropshire's now my adopted county. I'm always there. End up getting in with the Strom guys. Not even just being a fanboy of them, just being an advocate of the products that I used from them. Neuro played a massive part in
Yeah.
the evening anxiety attacks that I had. Stopping those 2 scoops of Neuro, good night sunshine,
For sure.
and I was aware. But without that piece and without Christian sticking by us, like when I was homeless, Christian and Kirkham paid for a hotel for me for 2 nights because I had an out. I was furloughed. Like I didn't really have a lot.
And they wanted to.
And they wanted to. Like both of them. And I'm forever grateful. I don't care like how it sounds or whatever, or if I'm like sounds like I'm sucking anybody off. Like genuinely. I went and stayed with Rick for ages. Like while I was in that period of time. I stayed in Shropshire for about 2 weeks at one point.
Okay.
And I'm indebted to those people always because of what they've done for me. And I've done a lot other side, like in years to come. But I felt like I was involved in something with Strom. I felt like I was part of something. I still feel like I'm part of something with Strom. And it's a great place. And if you haven't been, like, go. They've just opened a fucking new elite performance center. Everyone's really friendly. Everyone's really welcoming. And like, it's just not an ego place.
Mm.
It's a place where people come and people talk and people take the piss out of you, and it's just good. It's just a great place. Fast forwarding a bit, Sarah, like with Christian and with that whole period, like I ended up meeting a massive network of people when Rick had barbells and barbecues. I was on the grill actually that day, serving up people burgers, helping Georgia with our little stand. And I got introduced to loads of people who are still my friends today. People thought it was my catering van. It wasn't. I was just the guy who wanted to help because if I go and do something somewhere or I'm with somebody, like I want to help you. That's kind of how we are up here in the Northeast. There's no such thing as a free lunch as there. And getting a 30 stone, I had a fair few lunches. But to fast forward what I'd achieved and what I went through, to go back to your question, Sarah, like every week that I checked in, every week that I posted a video, every day that I went out for my steps, I knew it was for something. I knew that I could do it. I believed in myself as much as like I'd written myself off at times and I didn't want to be on the planet. Like I didn't want to be breathing. I didn't want to be here. I wanted to be up in heaven with me nana. If well, I'll probably not end up there. To be fair, I'll probably be going down. But
Like, come here, come here.
yeah, I'll be doing the Stairmaster in hell. I know for a fact I will, or any form of cardiovascular activity. Because in that process, even when gyms open back up, I refuse to do cardio. I used to say to Christian, like, he'd make me plan and blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, I'm not doing that fucking cardio. I'm just going to do more steps. I now know that cardio is really, really fucking important. That's why I do it every single day. But back then it was like, fuck no cardio. I'm a 30 stone. I was a 30 stone guy. Cardio for me is going up the fucking stairs. Like, nah, I'm good, thanks. I'll do more steps and I'll lift the weights. Girls get girls, or not in my case. Well, maybe now. But I didn't do cardio. I refused. And going back to your point, like every session that I did, every time I went in the gym, there's somebody out there who's in my position where I started, thinking they're fucked, thinking that's it, that's no more. Like writing yourself off and just ordering another takeaway or eating another packet of biscuits or going and getting some cakes and eating them in your car, like doing the shit that I used to do, making berserk combinations out of food because you just want to eat it all. But like how it felt to be doing it, like it was amazing. It was incredible. It was hard, but it was amazing. Like, you know, once the off-plan meals started to be introduced, like I remember one day I got 6 cookie dealer cookies, and Christian was like, "Oh, what do you have for your off-planner?" And I was like, "Oh, I've just nailed 6 cookie dealers." He was like, "You're fucking getting this." And I was like, "Mate, I've just listened to Carbs Cast. I heard about your off-plan, so." But like, I was scared of that as well, though, because I was like, "Well, I fucking really enjoyed that." So what is just, you know? Then I started to get little cravings, little bits of things, and I found myself maybe just taking a little tiny bit, like picking a little bit off a little bit of chocolate bar, just have a little taste or a little whatever. And I had to rein that in because I had that goal, I had that promise. And what all of that did for us, Sarah, within that period of transformation, like it opened up fucking doors. The relationship with Strom opened doors. I started working in bodybuilding. I met some of my best friends through it, Subshack Dan, one of my best mates up here, Strength Shacky's gym in Carlisle, through bodybuilding, through working with that bodybuilding federation I used to work for, that we were all part of. You know, I remember the first, like, even, I remember being invited to the first show in Leeds. Do you want to come? And I'm like, I've never been to a bodybuilding show, mate. I don't even know what the fuck they do. So I'll just come, like, you'll have a great time. Anyway, I gets there and carnage is breaking loose backstage. Oh, fucking hell, I can't. What's it? And I just said, look, like, I know how to talk to people. I love helping people. So just let me.
Oh, that's how it started.
Just let me do a thing. And then next thing you know, like, I'm helping out backstage. And I think one of the funniest things that ever happened to me first show, and it fucking traumatized us. Somebody came over and they couldn't get the badge on the thong on the bikini.
Oh.
And they came over and they were like, "Can you get this badge on here?" And I was like, "I can't look there, but I can get a female member of staff. I can't." And I ran out, fucking panicking like fuck, like, "So there's a badge and things." But like, I also remember like that transition, Sarah, of going in and doing that and how good I felt after the show and setting the show up and meeting loads of athletes. And, you know, I'll never forget the first overall winner was a guy called Chris Swan, who's based down in Cornwall. One of the nicest men I've ever met. Great guy. Inside Sub sponsored it. Danny with his anabolic sex fringe that he wears, the little emo fringe. He'll hate us for that, but that's, but that feeling of just being part of something after having such a hiatus in lockdown of doing fuck all and doing steps until my feet give out, being in this world where people knew who I was already because of everything I'd posted, through being a fucking tit every time I'd lost weight and did a fucking cartwheel naked or fucking ran through a bush or whatever I did just to celebrate that weight loss and celebrate that victory. And I think the problem with people who follow diets and, Gen Pop people, of course, this is a bodybuilding podcast, so I'll paraphrase with Gen Pop. You don't celebrate it enough.
Yes.
It's never celebrated. And like tonight after this podcast, it's my check-in day. I've just done another check-in. So I'm going to post that. Yes, I'm fucking not miles away, but I'm far enough away from where I finished up with Christian to be a little bit fucked off with myself.
Yeah.
But we'll come to that. And going back to being that part of that community, that forum, traveling the country every weekend, different shows, different venues, meeting new people. I remember seeing a message, and this was one of the main reasons why I turned me back on a lot of friends I had up here. Who the fuck does he think he is, going and doing all them bodybuilding shows? Like, what does he think he's doing? Like, blah, 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 blah. Now, I've always had problems with not feeling good enough. I was always the people pleaser, like, Joel do that, Joel do that, Joel do that. But when I was doing something I actually wanted to do and go against the grain of, saying no to going out for food, because the group of friends I was in at that time were always going out for food. This was Christian's point. You're always going out for burgers, you're always going out for pizzas. And that's because I'd be sat there like, yeah, I'll come. Do you want us to pick you up?
Yeah.
But when I started saying no, because I had my own journey and my goals, like, oh, he's fucking boring now. He's fucking boring now. And I never really enjoyed drinking alcohol. Like, I've never enjoyed it. But I used to do it because everybody else did it. And it was always a case of Joe's shit when he's pissed. I've never seen Joe pissed. Do you know why? Because I go into my fucking head when I'm like, and I overthink and everything that I channel behind when I'm in a sober state and in control. I just go into myself because I'm not confident with how I look. I don't like my appearance. Like, I was always the bigger dude out of the group of friends. So I was never going to be the main magnet towards women when I was trying to be on the pull. Lads. And but the difference is I was always the guy who'd chat. I was always the guy who had the patter. I was always the guy who was funny. I was always the guy who was,
nice one.
People would hide behind me like, oh, Joel, go and talk to them. Go and talk to them, Joel. And then they'd like use me as a fulcrum to alleviate themselves into a situation when we're out on the drink or whatever. So, yeah, I got all of that and I just thought, you know what, fuck this. Which is why most of my friends are scattered around the country these days. Because the real people stick by you and you don't have to talk to them every day. You don't have to be in their pocket. Like Rick and Dan, for example, two of my really good friends. I don't talk to them every day. I probably speak to Rick most days because I normally reply to stuff on his stories or he replies to mine. But Dan, I can go ages without talking to Dan, but then we'll just pick up where we've left off. Because we travelled the country together for bodybuilding like for a year, nearly 2 years. As the backstage boys, the OGs of that federation that I'm probably not going to name for legal reasons. But what it became, mate, was that transformation, like, opened my eyes to a new world. Like, I love bodybuilding now. I'm not a bodybuilder. I've never claimed to be one. But I was always accepted. And I was always welcomed with open arms. I haven't got the best physique there. But who I am was enough. And yes, it was challenging. The first couple of ones I went to, I was like, fucking hell, he's massive. Him like, oh look, and I remember even alleviating some things to me. I remember saying to Christian, like, fuck me, when are we going to slam some gear, bro? Because like I need to look like that. And he was like, nah, bro, like we're still, you've still got stuff to do. Can't just do that. And I respect that. I
Yeah, I
respect
love
that a
that.
lot.
I like that.
Because how many people on the internet now, young lads, especially, even females,
Yes. Yep.
looking at their favourite athletes, looking at for example, people who are looking up to the likes of Romana,
Hmm. Hmm.
friend of the podcast, great bodybuilder and a lovely human being, her and Dan. But people looking up to Romana thinking like, feeling, well, I'm going to have to do that, and then not taking any advice on it, and not actually getting a coach, and not looking at your blood work, your hormones, your supplementation, and just blindly following a body goal. I imagine most stereotypical men who got into bodybuilding will have probably looked at Arnold Schwarzenegger, Phil Heath,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, Jay Cutler, and just thought, right, he clearly takes gear, so I'm just going to buy some and then do it. Like the first time I took steroids was blind because somebody at work told us to do it and
Mm.
how much to do.
It's wild.
Terrifying. But
Mm.
what's good is there's actually some good places you can get advice now,
And
and it
good
doesn't
coaches.
and it doesn't cost you the world. That's what I'm getting at. There's some fantastic, some of the best coaches in the UK, and are in the UK. And the maddest thing is that I'm on first name terms with most of them,
Yeah.
which is a pinch me moment because I'm just a fat bloke from Sunderland who lost some weight and talked about it.
Mm. The thing is, like you said, with being welcomed and accepted for who you are, this is what I see is available in the bodybuilding community. But
Absolutely.
and that's where, when we spoke at the start about the spaces that are not spoken about or the spaces that are not occupied, this is what I thought. That was my vision with the podcast. It was like, I feel like there's people like you, like me, like Romana, like Sarah, like all of us that have got things that collaboratively we can bring together and create a space within a space. And it's that domino effect of, once you're accepted, anyone listening, struggling to know who you are and know that question, the answer to the question, who am I? Why do I bodybuild? You can find your people, but it's for sure the more authentic you are to yourself. Your example is so good because it's like it was an aesthetic acceptance. It was I like this guy. Come
Yeah,
into
he's all right. He's all right. I've seen it, and the main thing that people say to us now, like I'm still recognised as Christian's client. Are you Mr. I got one recently, like, and it still fucking baffles us as to why anybody knows who the fuck I am. It does. Are you Mr. OPH? Is that who you are? Christian's client. I was like, yeah, I was. Yeah, I was Christian's client. Yeah, yeah. Still a good friend of mine. I love him. And he's like, fucking hell, you didn't have to lose some weight, mate. Like, bloody hell. But then at the same time, like, you didn't half lose some weight, but I didn't half gain some weight as well, which is the fucking darker side of this podcast.
That's the hard, and this is where the transformation led, and this is what I try and talk about. It's beyond a physique, hence the name Beyond Condition. It's beyond that because to be able to maintain results or to flex through the phases as competitors would. So when you're dieted down, reversing out off season, I know hundreds, potentially thousands of competitors that have done the transformation to stage and then you don't see them again because it is fucking hard. It's the external pressure, it's the food relationship, it's the body image relationship, it's the shit in life that is thrown at you, it's the trauma that led you to this body transformation. It's all of these things that then you go into the darkness, as you say.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing for me was I left Christian in 2022.
Yeah.
And I left Christian because I was kind of in a good spot in my life. And I
Hmm.
was also influenced by somebody who I was kind of dating.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it was like, why'd you pay him? Like, you eat ridiculous foods and blah, blah, blah. And you're not making any real progress with it. Like, You could just do your own thing, like you could do that. And it was with the heaviest heart in the world. I left him, having lost 147, let's say 150 pounds together
Fuck.
in just under 2 years. And it was the end of it. Christian and I sobbed. I was crying when I sent my last check in. He cried on my last check in. And like, I left it thinking that like, yeah, yeah, I'll be all right, mate. And you know what? For a period of time, I was,
Hmm. Hmm.
but like, life challenges hit. Like, I was dealing with living on my own at the time, so I rented a flat by myself. I'd never lived on my own before. Struggled with it terribly. Binges came back.
Mm.
The anxiety, the depression. I found myself just shutting the blinds on a night, Sarah, and just sitting in the fucking dark,
Mm.
not replying to anybody on my phone. I was in quite a high pressure job. I just took a head of department role, which was quite high stress. It was the best position I've ever had in this industry that I work in now. And I struggled and I battled and I was in the fucking dark. And I remember thinking, fucking hell, like, again, that I don't want to be here is here again. And I remember one night I binged that hard in my flat because I used to go and make myself sick after I binge sometimes. And anybody who's done it or anybody who listens will know immediately after, like, once you've done it, you get this mad, like, rush of, I need to get this out. It needs to go. So I used to have to put my fingers down my throat over the toilet. And I remember I went far too hard one night. And I remember I'd done that much. I started to bring bile up with a bit of blood in it. I remember seeing that, and I, I passed out, and I banged my head on the on the bathroom wall. And a neighbour, funnily enough, a neighbour had heard it because obviously I must have crashed down. I was about 16 stone a bloke, 17 stone a bloke crashing down. And I was shit at locking my flat door anyway. Like, if you want to burgle me, like, you could have burgled us quite easily. Just know that there was nothing in the fucking fridge because I'd have eaten all of that. And my neighbour found us, and I went to A&E that night, and obviously I was fine, but like, again, I was like, fucking hell, something needs to happen. I'd been laid off from work briefly. I was out of work for about 2 months because of the energy crisis.
Okay, yeah.
Cheers to Vlad the lad with Ukraine for that one. Appreciate that, Vlad. Unpaid. I was stressed to fuck because I'd just got this flat. I really wanted to make it work for myself. I really wanted positive things.
Mm.
And then, fast forward about 6 months later, here I am in another situation where I find myself looking to uproot my whole life and move 8 hours away, give up my job, give up everything, and go and move away. And in that period of time, when I was doing that, when I was in the flat, like, I was that miserable. I wasn't training consistently. I was getting in from work and I was going to bed and I was falling asleep and I'd wake up at about 7 o'clock. Then I'd sit awake all night scrolling. And then I'd probably go back to sleep about 2 o'clock in the morning. Barely went out, barely got any steps, barely did any gym work. But I was still going to the bodybuilding shows and stuff like that. I was still Mr. OPH at these bodybuilding shows and fucking all the likes of that stuff. But then at the same time, I found myself, you know, doing that and uprooting, moving away. That didn't go very well at all. Um, I don't regret it because it was an experience and
Mm.
obviously a lot of life happened. But I was bad. I was bad there as well. My depression kicked me head in.
Mm.
Dealing with being so far away from home, dealing with pressures on myself to not be able to provide for my people who I was there with because I was earning a lot less money as to the job I'd took where I'd moved to.
Yeah.
And dealing with the pressures of like, fuck, I really need to make a start of something. And I'd signed back up with Christian again, but it just didn't work out because I wasn't in the right space.
Yeah.
And then I done me back in L5S1, herniated disc. And I'll be honest with you, mate, like it just took us. I couldn't walk for a while, couldn't walk properly, couldn't walk for a long time. But I let that take hold of us. Now, all of this time, Rick from Strom, lose weight, do this, do that, and you'll be fine. I didn't listen to a lot of it
Yeah.
because I kept binging. I was surrendering and succumbing myself to the fact I was injured.
Yeah.
I was working from home, so I wasn't really very mobile. And it was dark, horrible, really, really dark. Like in my head, I mean,
Yeah.
the place I lived was beautiful. But yeah, it just, I spiraled and weight gain happened. And then I came back in 2024, back to Sunderland, back to my mum and dad's, back to where I started. No job, no money, tail between my legs. Something didn't work out. And then I got a job. Things started looking up here, where I am now, which I'm grateful to these guys. These are brilliant. Love working for these people. Love doing the job I do. But about 3, 4 months into that, Dad had the stroke. I finished work on a Friday night, and Dad was doing the garden. And I've always had such a sarcastic relationship with my parents. Like I speak to my parents like I love them and I respect them, but we speak to each other like shit. I remember getting out of the car like, "What the fuck are you doing, you virgin?" And he went, "Oh, I'm doing the garden. What do you think?" And then I laughed it off. Went in the house and I was getting changed to go to the gym. Funnily enough, and my mother shouted us down the stairs, and Dad was gone. And he couldn't remember a thing. He didn't know who anybody was. He didn't know who I was. He didn't know where he lived. He didn't know his name. And then what ensued after that was probably one of the worst years of my life in 2024. But throughout all of that, like in the background, I was working with Clara Swenland, Clara Wilson, the exercise on therapy. Because one thing that I will say about when I moved to when I moved away, one thing that I was pushed into doing was therapy, which I'm still really grateful for because without that, like I probably wouldn't be here, and that's the truth.
Mm.
Really underpinning my eating disorder, really underpinning like why I feel the way I feel, what my internal compass looks like, never feeling good enough. Like watching the stuff with Dad though after that, I just had a year of just battling to get through every day, battling to be there for my mum, going to hospitals all the time. No form of nutrition, none. Just eating what the fuck I wanted because I was sad, I was miserable. 2 months after that, my auntie passed away, then my uncle passed away a month later. Quick succession deaths in the family. I got rushed to hospital with pneumonia. Thought I was going to die. Um, Took 2 months out of work last year because everything just got too much, mate. Everything just got on top. And I was desperately trying to find the old Mr. OPH, find the spark of lockdown, find the £150 weight loss guy who'd sat on other podcasts telling people that, like, this is my last transformation. I'll never put weight back on again, me. You know, and I don't regret it because at the time that's where my head was at.
For sure.
But one thing that I really, one thing that I really fucking struggled to do with all of those things was put one foot in front of the other. And one on the thumbnail for this, that picture where I'm sat on my bed eating a takeaway was one of the things where I looked at it and I looked at myself in the mirror and I thought, I want to take a picture of this.
I
And
did.
you know what? It wasn't even a I want to take a picture of this because I want this to be a benchmark as to where I want to start. It was more so I want to take a picture of this because I fucking hate myself.
Yeah.
And I'm going to look at it and continue to fucking loathe myself, regardless of how my mood is or where my mood's at. I look at it now and just see a bloke who was massively in despair because I hadn't left the house properly other than go to a care home or a hospital or anything like that with dad. You know, even when he was in hospital, he used to escape all the time and he'd go missing for hours on end. And
Same.
Elise would be out looking for him. I'd be out looking for him. And like in your head, you're like, what if a bus hits him or what if some poor fucker runs him over? I don't feel sorry for dad in that sense. I feel sorry for the poor fucker who's driving the car.
Yeah, yeah.
Or what if he says something to someone because he's not all there and somebody maybe hits him or mugs him, attacks him? And then dealing with the whole thing of dad's in a care home, like that's a shit thing to deal with. Going to see your dad, the bloke who raised you, Big Pete, fucking legend. Peter Dick Fingers, fucking hero. I didn't get them. Like I got two of Jeremy Beadle's little hands, me. But mate, I couldn't catch a break for the life of us. I try and start again. I fall off again. I remember Rick numerous times put one foot in front of the other. Come and do your cardio with me. Like we went to Welsh Fit Expo last year, and Rick was like, "We're going and doing cardio," and I'm giving him all the excuses. My back's bad. I can't. Like, I'm there. Come on. And I went and did it, but I didn't stay consistent with it. Because if I'd started then, I'd probably be where I was towards the end of
Yeah.
lockdown type of thing if I kept the consistency going. But at the same time, if my dad shagged me auntie, I'd be my cousin. That's why I'm here now. And I'm a product of it. And I'm a product of the environment that I place myself in now. A big thing for this podcast, Sarah, isn't just a fucking audio book of my life. It's a case of I want people to understand that if you're going through hardship and if you're struggling with stuff and if you struggle with binging and if you're hiding it and you're feeling really shitty about how you look and you find yourself cowling off or hiding under a sweatshirt or a hoodie in the gym, like you need to talk to people about it. You need to open up about it because there's only one person who will suffer, and that's you. Because I have, mate, terribly sleepless nights, anxiety attacks, panic attacks. But I refuse to medicate, you see, because and I've got nothing against anybody who's listening who's on antidepressants or anything like that. I've took sertraline and citalopram in the past and I fucking hated the pair. And I came off raw and I wanted to kill myself. Horrible. But if you're listening to this and you are struggling with it, like there are platforms that you can reach out to. There are numerous mental health support things that you can reach out to. There are things like Andy's Man Club. If you're a dude and you want to go to a local place to talk to people, or fucking hell, if you're a stranger and you're listening to this and you want to speak to me at Mr. OPH on Instagram, I've got all the time in the world for anybody who's struggling, because the thing I struggled with the most, Sarah, and all of it was feeling so fucking alone and so ashamed to reach out and to think I'm burdening someone's day or think I'm, unloading on somebody where, they've got their own problems, right? Like, what the fuck do they want to listen to me moaning on for?
That is, I feel like that's almost, it's something I spoke to Romana about the other day. It's almost like a blockade that you can create in your own mind because you feel like I'm going to be a burden, but actually you do it for someone else, like you've just offered if someone's listening and they wanted to talk to you. But but a lot of us will go, yeah, I know, but I don't want to put that on anyone else. But we would do it for someone else, and I feel like
Hugely.
this is something that you sort of you can gain clarity with reciprocal relationships. You can, like when we met and recreate, we reconnected at the show, and we were like, we're both sharing the stuff we've been through. But there was at
Hugely.
one point, it's not like, oh, he's taken the conversation, she's taken. It's like, no, you just interested and you want to talk, and getting it out of the mind to someone that understands. It's so powerful.
It makes it a lot easier. It
Mm,
makes it a lot easier. And even if you wanted to reach out to a professional, like I know for a fact that Clara will really help anybody.
mm,
Clara exercise, I swear by her
yeah.
because the work we've done. She's a friend of mine as well, so she wears. It's different. It's an interesting one because we've been to shows and stuff together as friends, and then later that week, like I'm having a call about therapy, but it's two totally separate things,
It can work.
and it works. It does work, but like, mate, like it goes beyond all of that for me. Like, because with the bodybuilding stuff, where that took us, like I was hosting shows, I was MC compere for NFM, and I was stood on stage with that back injury, with that weight gain burden, and I'm stood there thinking like I got into this industry because I achieved something.
Yeah.
I am reversing what I've achieved, and I look at some of the pictures, man, I hate them. And I've got Big Matt Thomas there with a long lens out, taking some fantastic pictures and sending us them, and like, oh, I got a class shot of you, mate, like presenting this trophy or doing whatever. And I love hosting bodybuilding shows. I can't wait to host another one. I can't. When NFM folded, like I'd lost a job there. I was gutted.
Yeah.
But I want a, big venture for me. I would love to host a PCA show or host for PCA. I think the world of Ryan and Stephen Cassidy, what those guys do is brilliant as a spectacle, as a show.
Yeah.
And I've been lucky enough to be there representing Strom this season, which is amazing. But like going back to being on stage front and center with the microphone in my hand, conducting as a master of ceremonies, I still had to be the entertaining Mr. OPH. But in the background, in my head, this waistcoat doesn't fit as properly. I've got the bottom button undone. You can see the bottom of my belly. Like these trousers are really tight. Like people are probably watching thinking I look like the fucking fat controller. Like, and I know that in people's narratives in the head, it spins and spins and spins. By the time I'd finished the bodybuilding show and I was traveling back, I was exhausted.
Yeah.
And then the pictures had come out and stuff, and like I'd have friends who were athletes posting like when I'd announced their win, and I'd be fucking stood interviewing them on stage, and I'd be looking thinking, fucking hell, the fucking state of him. And it's one of the big things that I've really, really sharpened up on, and I'm trying to sharpen up on, and I'm constantly reminded that I need to project that more forward is your internal dialogue with yourself. You talk to yourself like shit, you look like shit.
For sure.
You speak to yourself in a terrible way or oh, fuck's sake, Joe, or oh, fucking this is shit, that's shit. Last year, I was very guilty. And the year before, because I was in a fucking really bad place mentally, I was really guilty of compartmentalizing that everything was so fucking shit
Yeah.
that it became shit.
For sure.
Because you fucking radiate what you manifest. And I don't care if you think I'm talking about some hippie bullshit
It's
there.
true.
If you think positively, if you channel positivity into something, positivity will fucking happen. Not straight away,
Mm-hmm.
but it will come good. But you have to start somewhere. The problem that people face, and I face, is that start position. Now I'm about 5 weeks into this current transformation that I'm undergoing. And I'm about 26, 27 pounds down. No coach at the moment. Just doing it on my own. Because I know what I'm doing. I do want some accountability, but I know what I'm doing. and I'm making plans with someone for some accountability, but I know what I'm doing. And this someone wants to be a silent partner anyway.
And you
Doesn't
want,
want the whole gratification because their words, not mine.
yeah,
You're doing the work. I don't want any of the. You're doing it. And I'll be honest, Sarah, it's everything that I tried to do in all those times when things were darker. Like I wanted to get up before work and go for a walk. I wanted to train after work. I wanted to fucking go sea dipping because I live by the sea. I love being in the sea. It's fucking amazing. It's invigorating. I mean, my car's fucking sandy as fucking. Most of my clothes are absolutely soaking, but and I'm finding sand everywhere. But I want to do those things. Do the daily cardio. Do the gym session. Do the steps. Get me steps in. Get the non-negotiables ticked off in your head. But don't make them that non-negotiable that if you don't do them, you beat yourself up. I was guilty of planning things too much. Right, I'm going to do this workout, I'm going to do that. And then by the time you've planned it, you're already tired because you've thought it through in your head and you're mentally exhausted.
yeah, yeah,
So you get to that stage where you don't do it and you procrastinate. And instead of, so for example, my biggest toxic trait in all of this, trying to get back consistent again, even since when I came back last year, back to Sunderland, if I don't have my gym clothes with us in my bag and I go home, if I sit down, fucked. Because I'm back with my mum at the moment because dad's in a care home. She doesn't want to be in the big house by herself, bless her. I've only got my bedroom for privacy. So I'll lie on my bed. So by the time I've laid on my bed, I'll lie there, I'll scroll, and I'll scroll, and I'll scroll, and then it's bedtime.
yeah.
And then I'm wide awake. And I'm like, shit, I haven't fucking eaten anything.
Mm.
Oh, what's in the cupboards? But if you do it in a way that like non-negotiable, pack your fucking gym bag.
Yeah.
Know your own flaws.
Mm.
If you know that you're partial to fucking binging something or partial to eating things, make sure they're out of your reach. Speak to your partner, speak to who you live with. Get them to fucking keep them in their car that you haven't got keys for,
For
or put
sure.
them somewhere else because that's the biggest form of love that you can get and understanding. If someone gets you, they'll do it for you and they'll understand. Doing the non-negotiables, pack your gym bag, make sure you've got something to eat. Now I get fucking battered regularly for you're always eating grenade bars. Oh, you're like a human grenade bar. You're a human grenade bar. Why don't you eat something proper? And I am guilty of it if I'm on the road, but I make mindful choices.
Yeah.
I won't binge a box of them.
Yeah.
I've done that before.
I mean, they are delicious.
I had a really poorly tummy.
The thing is, as well, it's almost like outlining triggers, isn't it? So if
Yeah.
there is, this is something I'll work with clients, you know, it's, this is the thing with a body transformation, as we've spoken about, right? You can do the one, and I see this a hell of a lot. You can do a huge transformation, and then it's like, oh, there's the reverse out bit. There's the maybe an off season if you're a competitor, or maintenance if
Yep.
gym pop or whatever. But it's like there's almost, I try to quantify it in my own mind because I see it so much. It's like there's almost that fear of what it takes to do it again, or like you know how hard it gets when you get leaner. You know how controlled it gets. I don't know. You see what I mean? Where it's quite
Oh,
hard.
yes, Sarah. I mean, it was one of the biggest things that stopped me from going. Like some of the things that stopped me from having a day one, right? This is me day one. One of the biggest things that stopped me from that day one and continuing forward was, well, fucking hell, it took us ages to do it last time.
Yeah, and
I
I
don't,
felt
I don't want this. I don't want this time. One of the biggest catalysts that made me start this again and have a fucking go at it and stop being an arsehole to myself and start actually looking after myself was I was out the other Friday night about 6 weeks ago now, 7 weeks ago, just with a friend. He was having a beer. I was having a Diet Coke in a beautiful outdoor place in Sunderland called I can't even remember what it's called now. What the fuck's it called? Anyway, outdoor venue, really nice place, nice vibe. And my heart rate just starts going fucking bananas. And I'm trying to check this little app on my phone, 175 beats a minute. Just stood there and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
I went to the toilet to go and calm down, like fucking thinking, I don't know what's wrong with this. I'm 111. I had to make an excuse for me, pal. I don't feel very well. Sheepfolds is the place where it's called. It's beautiful. If ever you're in Sunderland, Sheepfolds, really nice. And I went to A&E, and I'm sat in A&E for fucking 12 hours. And they're doing numerous blood tests on us, ECGs, things like that. 12 and a half hours later, oh, you haven't had a heart attack, Mr. Ophield. Like, everything's fine. You do need to lose some weight, though. Thank you. Of course I do, because I'm a fat bastard. Great. But yeah, in the end, it was just a massive fucking turbo panic attack. Really bad, though. Like, I genuinely thought I was going to die that night. Genuinely. Mortified I was. And after that, I posted something on Instagram about it, talking about it, and lo and behold, Rick from Strom appears, enter stage right. And, you know, this is the true definition, in my eyes anyway, of what a great friend is. And I'm going to read you his comment. So his comment on it was, sort your shit out, Joe. We've spoken privately and now I'm putting it publicly because I know you want to be accountable. You're in the same spot that you've been in since 2022. You don't want to be, and we don't want you to be. So stop talking, start doing. Next time, it might not be a warning. For anyone who sees this and thinks I'm being harsh, I might be, but it's entirely because I actually give a crap. Life is hard. Patting someone on the head and saying it'll all be okay only gets you so far.
Fucking sentiment.
And then off the back of that, he sent us a voice note explaining it and how much he didn't want us to do a dead. And now next time it might not be a warning, because the last time I went in for a scan on my back, my blood pressure was through the roof because of stress and shit. And I've sorted that out. But what it did was like, yeah, we need to get the fucking ball rolling here. And we've got the ball rolling again. And it's rolling in the right direction again. And I've got big plans. I've got big aspirations as to what I want to do with this transformation. Last one I didn't really do much with it other than post around social media.
Yeah.
I'd have liked to have maybe done a photo shoot. I'd have liked to have maybe did some bits. So I do plan on eventually doing a photo shoot when I'm done. And I've seen something called Summer Shreds in America, which has a transformation class. And it's the guy, Christian Guzman, who runs 3D, all the likes of that stuff. That's his federation. So what I've set as a long-term goal is 2027, jumping into that, going to America and competing in it's called a comeback transformation. So where you've kind of did it and then fucked up and been a binger with lots of fucking life troubles and 80 fucking feelings like I did for the last year and, well, 18 months. And I'm going to go and do that. And I'm going to put it out there on a public forum so everybody listening to us knows that I'm fucking serious in what I'm saying, because I'm not somebody who just talks about it. I was a talker when I was trying to get back to it, but I'm back to it now and there's fucking nothing stopping us from achieving this. I've got the right people in my life now. I've got the right support network. I've got an immensely supportive partner. Granted, it's a fairly new relationship, but the characteristics that this girl's possessing towards support for me is phenomenal.
And she's a listener.
And she's a listener.
Shout out from the Beyond Condition.
Shout out from the Beyond Condition. And I've got the right people in my corner with the Strom guys. Rick will never, ever give up on us as a friend, because when I said to Rick after he'd sent us that voice note, I said, well, mate, if I died, you'd probably be sad for 5 minutes. You've got so many people around you, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, mate, if you die, I'd be fucking devastated. Like, I'd be done. And you're a dear friend. You mean a lot to us. Probably one of the nicest things he said is he probably dampened that down a little bit. But he's always been great. He's helped us out incredibly in my life since I've met him. But I want to channel it into something positive, and I'm going to channel it into something positive, and I'm going to document it still, and I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to be open and honest. And I don't just want it to be about me, Sarah. I want it to be about the people who are listening who are struggling. It's the main reason I'm here. So if you are listening and you are struggling, your day one can start now. It doesn't have to start Monday. It doesn't have to start tomorrow. It can start from whenever you want it to start. Mm. And if you fall off, or if you slip back into old ways, like for a day or even whatever, it's one day. Mm. Out of a whole year, you've got 365 days in the year. That one day is a small slice of that year. It's not a bad life. It's just a bad day is something that I've learned quite quickly, especially in everything I went through last year. Yeah. It's not a bad life. I don't have a bad life. Bad shit's happened to us in my life, but bad shit happens to everyone in their life. Yeah. And I'm not alone in it. But even if you're not looking at a fitness journey, and even if you're struggling with your appearance, or battling with your mental health and anxiety is really hard for you, like, or you're not really fitting in with people, or you have to put yourself in those positions. Like, I was terrified the first bodybuilding show I went to. I won't show it because I'm this big Larry, all right, like, but inside I was fucking, I was hyped to network with people and hyped to meet people, but at the same time I was in fear of the judgment. Like, what the fuck's he doing here? Like, why is he here? He doesn't belong here. It's not the case. Go to a gym. Talk to people in that gym. No one will laugh at you. No one will look at you. No one will poke fun at you. And if they do, you're in the wrong fucking gym.
Yeah. You forget that, don't you? That there's
options.
Yeah. There's places you can go.
There's places you can go, and some of the best people in the world who I've met, like, and I've been very, very lucky to meet some huge names in bodybuilding, strongman, powerlifting. These guys are some of the most rooted, down-to-earth people who you will ever meet. And they'll never look at you and judge you for how you are or who you are. So going into a local gym, or a local lifting club, or a local strongman gym, or even a powerlifting meet, just to turn up and hang around and talk to some people. Mm-hmm. If they think bad of you, that's on them.
Yeah, and it's time to move on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's about being comfortable with who you are. And the last kind of beginning of this year, I did a lot of work on being happy with who I was. I wasn't even looking to entertain another relationship or anything like that, but it happened. And I'm here for it. It's fucking brilliant. But at the same time, like, that goes hand in hand with the other stuff, because you've got to have the rest of stuff right. You can't lean your happiness into somebody else or something else. Use whatever you want to do: hiking, going to the gym, powerlifting, CrossFit, boxing, fighting, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, whatever it is. Find something. Playing golf. I fucking played golf at the weekend. I haven't played golf for 10 years. Me and Vaughan, Prep Coach UK, went up to a golf club near mine and had a great laugh. It was so good for open talk and conversation, and talking about bloke stuff, and talking about, like, just being there. Because I've made a friendship with Vaughan through bodybuilding shows. I've never done anything else other than be at a bodybuilding show with him, or maybe grab food after. And I've been friends with the guy now for 3 years.
It is we because we've joked about this, haven't we? The day we reconnected was the day you met your partner, and the conversation we had, it all starts with you, and same with Matt. until I learnt to love myself, the universe didn't deliver him to me. And then
No.
I learnt to love myself, and the thing is, it's not egotistical, it's not arrogance, it's not I'm better than everyone else and I've got all of this to offer. It's I'm happy with who I am, and
Yeah.
I know I can play a part in a relationship. I don't have to be the lesser person, or that person offers more than me. It's like let's because I see as a relationship, it's like coaching. You're a team, aren't you? You know, it's a
Partnership, not a dictatorship.
yeah. With all
Partnership.
successful relationships, and it's like and I talk about it a lot, and it's great that you could, talk about that from your own circumstance. Sometimes I think, am I beating this drum too much? Because I talk about it so much, but
No, like, because at the same time, mate, right? In that, some people think I will be happy when this happens. I will be happy when that happens. You will be happy when you learn to accept who you are, know that you're a good person, know that you know what you like, you know what you don't like.
good intentions.
You've got great intentions, you're kind, you really look after, like, you look after yourself, you look after the people around you.
And you're allowed to make mistakes,
And
guys. Like anyone,
no one's fucking perfect. No one.
but learn. This is the thing, right? Like you said about if you slip up with, if you were to binge and you've got a history of that, you're not fucking perfect. You're a human being. And I've said this recently on the pod. Food tastes nice. Food is nice. And it's
Food's
also,
great. Food's
it,
fucking brilliant.
yeah, it's linked to pretty much every emotion as we've explored today. It's linked to, when you meet up with people, all of these different things. And yes, we're pushing and pulling it for a goal of bodybuilding or body transformation, however you want to frame it. However, for most people at some point, learning to be able to enjoy food as well is certainly a sticking point. If you have, with this background of binging or food pathologies, it's actually quite hard to then be able to just go for a meal, isn't it? And be like, oh, like your cookie dealer example, it's like
Yeah, yeah.
this tastes good here.
One of the biggest things out of all of it, though, mate, that where I know that I've made progress is like I can do that now.
Exactly that.
I can be around people who are eating food and still stay on plan and make a mindful choice. I did it a few weeks back when I went out for some Greek food. I got some chicken skewers. They were unbelievable. Bit of hummus, bit of pitta, sound.
Yeah.
And I didn't want any more.
Mm.
Didn't need to get a dessert. Didn't need to, because I loved the company I was in, and
That's
because
huge.
it was the experience. And I've been around people who were eating all sorts of shit that used to trigger me. Like I used to eat a full packet of pan of chocolates like that, 8 of them in a wanna.
Matt,
Bam.
there's a reason why Matt likes you. He
8 of
loves
them.
a croissant or a pan of chocolate.
8 of them in a wanna. I used to just, even the shit ones that are pre-packed, I used to just fucking nail those bad boys. And like, I've been around with trigger foods, loads, loads, and I'm not bothered. I work in an office. There's always, oh, do you want this sweet? Oh, should we get takeaway? Should we get Five Guys? Should we? And this is another thing, guys. If you want to try and do something with your life and change, you have to be the person to sit there and go, do you know what? No, I don't want that. I've brought me food and I'm going to fucking eat it. But just get this one, a little takeaway or a burger, or it'll not hurt you. No,
Mm,
no, I don't want that. I'm okay. Thank you.
mm, mm. You forget
So,
you have a choice.
yeah, totally.
Mm, mm.
You're in control. It's your journey.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, these people who you work with or your friends or whatever, they're going to go and do their thing on their terms. You do yours on your terms.
Yeah. And they don't care about the body transformation. It's not,
No,
they don't care.
I don't give
And
a
that's
fuck.
not being horrible. They just don't. They've got their own shit going on, right?
No, that's like they don't care. Like they'll obviously support you in it or say they are.
Mm.
But the difference is like when you surround yourself with people who genuinely give a fuck about it,
They wouldn't.
no, about oh, we're going out for food, but it's all right if it's all right if you don't want to go for it.
Yeah.
Take food with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever. Order something that's a bit more mindful from the menu.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if it's alcohol you struggle with, many men struggle with the burden of going to the pub all the time, and the mate's like, oh, we'll just go out for one, and then it turns into 5, 6, pack it in, like,
And a pizza.
and then a kebab on the way home and feeling like shit the next day because you've had a bit of that and had a bit of that. And it's never been a thing for me, but I understand how much pressure it is because every time I'm out in a social situation, it's always like, oh, do you not drink? Like, why do you not drink? Because I don't. Because it means I can fuck off in my car whenever I want. Once you all start getting pissed, I can't be bothered with you. And I pull the lever, me, boom, trapdoor, see ya,
Yeah. Yeah.
off.
What do you think with binging, and if that was to happen in the future, do you have like a sort of tools or strategies in mind where if you got close to that point, what you would do to sort of try and bring yourself away from that?
I've got people around us, whereas if I wanted to do that and if I thought about doing that,
Nice.
I know I can press the red button.
Perfect.
I know I can ring the bat phone.
Yeah.
Commissioner Gordon, I can ring the bat phone. But at the same time, I also know, because it happens, even when I was right on it, there was times when I had shit in my basket, what wasn't meant to be there. And I'd get to the till and be like, nope,
Yeah.
nope, silly, fat cunt.
Get the
Like,
pace.
yeah, get in those eggs, get that salad in, because I refuse to eat veg for fucking ages as well, because I'm an absolute dick. I used to just drink R&G Max. And even then, I used to forget to fucking drink that bastard as well. So micronutrients were a minimum. Nowadays, I'll fucking smash veg to bits.
Oh yeah, vegetables.
But when you feel a trigger coming on, like, just remember, like, uh, loads of people have got the shittest advice for it in the world. Just have a drink, you might be thirsty. Nah, I'm looking at fucking cakes. I'm looking at those pastel de natas, those Portuguese custard tarts. I'm
I
looking at
can taste
sausage
them.
rolls. I'm looking at fucking pistachio and biscuit filled croissants.
Oh, Matt, pistachio.
I can't eat pistachio, but like I always get people who eat stuff with pistachio. It tells me what it's like because I've got a nut intolerance. Not an allergy, just an intolerance. So basically, my throat closes up and I shit myself. It's great. It's
Good way
great.
to not eat those things.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, sometimes I test the boundary with it because I often have the temptation of a bowl of crunchy nut.
Oh,
But,
crunchy
but I'm
nut.
fucking ill for hours after it. So I don't do it anymore. But like going back to the point in question, remember why you started. It's absolutely normal and okay to want that cake, that pastry, that takeaway. But just remember, like, how far is it going to get us?
Yeah, it won't fill you up. Unless, well, I mean, you could
No, it'll make you feel like shit.
concentrate.
And if it's a Chinese you're craving, fuck me. MSG, sodium. I feel ill after I've had a Chinese. I love a Chinese, but
Yeah, I like the smell, and then I'm like, I always say this. It's so funny you say that. I say this on our walks. If we smell a Chinese, I'm like, I really want to eat one because of the smell, but I know that I will feel like absolute shit, and I don't actually like it. Such a wild, wild thing. But again, the marketing in the world, the way we're brought up, all of these things, we're put in this bubble
yeah,
of,
I mean, one of the maddest things as to why I was fucking fat anyway was because my relationship with food, like, is happy times. Happy times. When I went to Betty's house, she had the Tupperware of Glory, which had fucking everything in it.
broken biscuits.
Open the lid, come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look, and you'll see into
Love it.
your imagination. Honestly, you'd look at that Tupperware, open the cupboard, and there'd be a golden glimmer. Who can take the sunrise? The Candyman can. But that's the positive emotion.
Yeah.
Friday night, you'd get a pizza with your dad or your partner or your nana and granddad. You'd go to Blockbuster, rent a video, get a game. You'd have a bag of peanut M&Ms while I could eat peanut M&Ms. I fucking hate that I can't.
Delicious.
But
Delicious.
those things, you remember them.
Yeah.
You remember them and you associate with them. And fuck me, my nana used to always be like, don't eat too many of them biscuits, you'll get fat. Oh, I got fucking fat, all right, nana. Like, but she'd always be, I've made an apple pie. Do you want some?
I
You've just
know.
promised not to be fat.
I've got custard.
I've got cream or custard. I've give you a bit of both. Are you fucking joking?
But it is, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, just remember what path you're on.
Mm.
Is the remember why you're doing what you're doing, and remember that it's all right to have something off plan once a week, just as long as you're not a complete fucking spastic with it. Like if you have a meal, save that meal to be in good company with someone. If you've got a partner, if you're dating someone, or if you want to go out with your friends, save that meal, have that moment, enjoy the company. Most of the time, it's the company anyway.
For sure. For sure. Like this is I love that you said this because I say this about post show, right? Like, backstage, everyone's have some of this, have some of that. And
Get
I'm
us a
like,
cookie pie. Get us this. Get us that.
yeah, and I'm like, you've just come off stage, just breathe, have some fluid initially just to calm yourself. And then, because if you do find yourself in this position where you've eaten loads and then suddenly you get that dump like you've spoken about with binging where you're like, whoa, I feel then you plan to go for a nice meal with your supporters and it takes away from that.
Well, yeah, I mean, don't get us wrong. Like, you've just dieted the fuck out of yourself and been in prep and put yourself in the bin and
Yeah,
like
so
missed out on lots of things and sacrificed a lot. And anybody who's done a prep and anybody who competes, I tip my hat to you because I know how hard it is because I've I've been around competitors for long enough. I'm in a relationship with
it.
somebody who competes on
Mm.
previous endeavors. I've been in a relationship with people who've competed. I know how difficult it is. My sister competes. Like, and like I see how hard it is. I see the suck. Like I've been over when my sister still lived in Bristol. I went over hers and she was fucking cooking up some kind of cottage cheese thing to turn a cottage cheese into like some kind of
Pancake or something.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
what the fuck are you doing? What's that
I
smell?
know. I used to do that. It was
The
fucking horrible.
cottage cheese is lovely, and I'm like, I don't know if it looks lovely, but you know,
With the syrups, zero syrups on. This is
yeah.
delicious.
No, but like that's what she wants to do. And if you do any of these recipe hacks, whatever, I know fucking Mel Wilkins, she loves a recipe hacking prep. She's amazing at them as well. I just can't be asked to
I
do
can't be
them.
asked. And
No,
for
I
me
can't.
personally, it can drive food pathologies because you're looking for satiation and you're creating this like, oh, it's got to be really,
But
really
by
nice.
the way, she's got some fucking wicked recipes. Kudos to you, Mel, if you're listening. But I get it.
Mm.
So when you come off and you want the bite of that cookie pie and stuff like that, great. But just make sure you don't eat the rest of the box.
Just be steady, yeah. Because
Steady away. Look after yourself. Like go
make
out and enjoy
memories.
the company. Your support network who's come to support you, they want to have that moment with you as well.
Yeah.
It's not saying you're being a selfish bastard because you're not, because you've just put yourself in the bin for God knows how long.
Mm,
I
mm.
honestly have the utmost respect for every single competitor who I've ever crossed paths with on stage, backstage, because I tell you what, you've done far more than what I have to get to where you have. And you're better than 99% of the population. The people who are in your workplace go, that's not healthy, that, oh, it's not. It's what you want to do. Neither's going to the fucking pub, Nigel, and smoking 20 fags a day and then eating a fucking steak and kidney pie at the match with 8 pints. But here we are. It's what you want to do.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You get this, don't you? It's like I used to find I'd think I'm trying to do something good here, and everyone keeps having a go at me.
And I remember my favourite one when I got to where I got to with my weight loss journey was people who knew us, like people who I work with and stuff. You've lost too much weight now. You look ill.
Yeah.
You look ill. You look ill. You look absolutely ill. And it's like, no, I don't. This is where I want to be. I don't care what you think I look like.
This is about me.
This is about me. This is my journey. Like you don't live in my head all day, every day. And this is what I'm getting at. The people around you don't live in your head all day, every day.
Yeah, yeah,
So run your own race. Get a goal. If you need support, there's some fantastic coaches around. DM me. I'll point you in some directions. I know Sarah's a fucking coach as well. Matt, our partner's a coach. But if you would like some further support or suggestions, I'll point you and I'll signpost you. I know some fantastic ones. The OG CBC won the best in the game. He got me in the best nick I've ever been in,
yeah. Love it.
and like I'm forever grateful because that first transformation opened up so many doors. I wouldn't be sat here talking to you. I wouldn't have worked in bodybuilding. I wouldn't have been an MC in bodybuilding. I wouldn't be part of Strom, and I wouldn't be doing the things that I love to do every single week without without that first transformation, without Christian, without Strom, I wouldn't be here doing this. And I'm so grateful.
That's why I always say don't give up on people, because people can shit on you, right? You know,
Yeah.
this happens in life. You've spoken about old friendship groups and things. It's something I talk about. But one person sees you, one person is your person. And I've referenced this before at our seminar. One person becomes your reciprocal partnership. That, I'm not saying intimate, I'm saying friendships. Then you go, maybe there's more people like this, and then you start to hit,
You find them.
and they find you, you find them, and then suddenly you've got this tribe, and you think, wow, we just want to support each other. This is fucking weird, but
Merry band of
pay for
positive
it.
people.
Yeah, yeah, and it causes this domino effect. And actually, my best friend Carly sent a question for you about, and this would be a really nice way to sort of, I guess, bring summary to what we've spoken about. What was it that made you realize it was you not giving up, or did you pull from an inner strength? So was it like, you've spoken about Betty, you've spoken about different circumstances in those times where you were like, I could just end it because no one will know. Was it like I'm never going to give up, or was it something? Because I described for my own journey something inside me, and I don't really know what it was.
think it's been, I think by that point I was exposed to the never settle ethos quite a lot.
Okay, yep.
And the never settle thing was something that always rang through my head from day one of being a fucking strong customer.
It
Like that,
went big, didn't it?
yeah, the
Yeah,
never settle thing is huge for me even now.
yeah.
And it was the promise that I made. And it was the life that I've always wanted to have that I'm still pursuing, that I still wish for. I don't wish for, like, I love the life I've got now, but I mean, the
You can.
physique,
Oh,
feeling good, the mindset level up.
yeah.
I've got more to offer this world, me as a person, and I can't give up on that. Because if I can help one person through a post or through a story or through anything, great. Me ending it all then
Stops that.
stops everything.
Yeah.
And I was never brave enough, mate. The truth, I was never brave enough to act on any of those things. But at the same time, I'd leave behind so many people who I love and care about, and friends and family and even a partner now. I couldn't do it
Mm, mm.
because I want to see so much good in their lives too. And I want to be there witnessing those great moments. And I want to experience more great life moments. Because at the same time, like, being at the very bottom is actually quite a beautiful place at the same time, because there's only one way from sitting your ass on the floor, and that's getting your ass back up and fucking going again with that never settle mentality, pushing forward, striving for better. Even if you've done 3 cardio sessions and you're meant to do 5, that's 3 more than none.
Yeah. And move forward.
Move forward. Next week, maybe do 4 if you feel like it. You've done 20 minutes one day, great. Do 20 minutes the next day, great. Then you maybe one day you want to do 40 minutes, amazing. As long as you're moving, because you're always going further than the person who's sitting on their arse on the settee, scrolling Instagram, bad mouthing what you're doing, or talking shit about what you're doing in some group message or whatever, full of fucking toxic mongos who literally feed off negativity. As long as you're moving forward and as long as you're on your path to what you want to achieve in your life, you're doing something right.
Mm,
Because there's still lots that I want to achieve in mine. And that's one of the main reasons I didn't give up.
mm.
And that's one of the main reasons why I'm back. That's one of the main reasons why, when I lost who Mr. OPH was, to be back to feel like Mr. OPH again is incredible. I feel like I've put on fucking Iron Man suit again. I've got the fucking bat suit back out. I'm gonna go and kick Gotham City's fucking head in. Like,
I love that.
and don't give up on yourself, because your journey is the most important part. You are the star, main character, director, and editor of your own life. Put out positivity always, never settle. And if you do struggle, fucking reach out to me, to Sarah, to someone you trust, to anybody, just as long as you can get that off your chest and don't carry it around with you because you will lead a miserable fucking existence. Life's short, life's precious, life's sweet, life's fucking cruel. I saw that with my dad. And I see it every day with dad when I go and see him at a care home. But dad wouldn't want me to sit miserable about how he's got dementia and he doesn't remember anything. Dad would want me going and striving for the best life that I can possibly make for myself. And that's what I'm doing. And I hope that listening to me can put one foot in front of the other in your life as well.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for attending me TED Talk.
Well,
I hope I haven't rambled on too much, and I hope you're not both
no,
going to lose any listeners at this point.
absolutely not. And this is, yeah, these types of episodes, it is because this is what I always say, I would look for that in podcasts. I want to be walking along, doing my cardio, doing my steps or whatever, and feeling part of a conversation and understanding someone's journey because, I once got told, well, when you're in the shit, you can't resonate with someone that's worse off than you. And I used to always think, I'd be having a really shit time and I'd go through the town and I'd see someone in a wheelchair as an example and I'd go, fucking pull your head out your ass, keep going. And I always got to, oh no, you can't do that sometimes. And I know you can't always. However, a lot of the time you can listen to a story like this and it can give you that glimmer of hope and then it projects into you being able to get through a challenging time. And I feel like episodes like this are so useful and it's just nice to listen, and that's why documentaries on Netflix are so popular and things like this because it's nice, it's nice to listen.
It's one of those where I'm grateful of everything that I've went through, every endeavor, every hardship, every triumph. Because even talking about those other stuff, there was good stuff in those other bits too.
For sure.
But obviously, we're talking about the darker bits of it. But I'm grateful because it made us the man I am today, and it's given us the fire and the fuel to continue to press forward. And I'll continue pressing forward. In 2 years' time, USA, I'll be up there. Fucking Christian Guzman, summer shredding. I'll be there.
I love it. Well,
So
you heard it here first, guys. Now,
get your fucking cell watching that bastard.
yeah. So you mentioned your Instagram handle, but I will put it in the description. Of course, have a look at your Instagram. Give Mr. OPH a follow. I was going to say Mr. Off, but I'm going to say OPH.
That's
And
what it's meant to be.
Mr. Off. And of course, guys, if you've listened and you want to share it on your stories, we would love to see all the love shared because, this domino effect we're talking about, this type of thing is going to help as well. But thank you, my G, because we knew it would be a good episode, and I'm just incredibly grateful we reconnected when we did. And of course, one day we are going to eat oatcakes, but until
Yeah,
that day, we will keep in touch.
definitely. And guys, if you've listened to this and you've took anything from it and you've got a question for me, message us anytime. Thank you for listening if you've got this far. But really appreciate being here. Very humble to have been invited onto this.
Thank you, mate.
I'm now going to go and train without headphones because I forgot my fucking headphones.
Oh, fuck.
Okay,
Oh,
never
no.
mind. Thank
I,
you so much, Sarah.
no problem. I will speak to you soon and thank you for your time, my G. Love you.
Thank you, good night. Much
Bye.